everyone, it's Leela from Miss Kiss Creations. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, I am going to show y'all two tumblers that I create with these beautiful glitters shown below. All of these glitters shown below is from craftdestiny.com. I will also be using their two 30-ounce stainless steel tumblers. You can find Craft Destiny at their website or on their Etsy page. I will be posting that in my description below, along with a 10% off coupon. I really liked this set of glitters because it comes with not only holographic, but it comes with two chunkies. You have the gold and then you have the rose gold. I really like it. And the Dusty Rose Hollow is holographic and it's really, really pretty. I also like how they already come in their square or rectangle containers. It's a lot easier to store and to stack on my glitter shelves. So I don't have to buy separate containers to transfer the glitter into the containers. So I just want to give a shout out to Craft Destiny. I really do appreciate y'all gifting me with all these products, with these glitters. I have some glow-in-the-dark adhesive or powder, and then also the tumblers. The tumblers are really nice. I really like how they are and how they're built. And I really like the lids that come with the tumblers. They're the easy close ones and they're the snap. So they snap and so they're spill proof. So I really like that about their lids. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the two tumblers that I created in this video. I decided to do the Dawn dish soap method on this one that I'm spinning in my right hand. I did the liquid method, and then this black, purple, and silver one, I did the power wash method. I really enjoyed working with these glitters and doing this method was super easy. I think this will be really fun doing with kids. It's super easy and it wasn't that messy. In my video, I did add some glow additive or powder to this tumbler to make it pop, to make it actually glow and glow in the dark, and it didn't work. I didn't add enough glow powder. It wasn't because of the product, it was just because I've never used glow powder before, and I didn't know how much to add. So you'll see that in the video whenever it pops up. And like always, all of my materials will be posted in my description below, including all of my glitter colors, which colors I use for each specific tumbler, Craft Destiny's website and Etsy page, along with that coupon code. And for all of my beginner viewers, I did fast forward a lot of steps, but I do have a lot of beginner videos in my description below, so be sure to check those out. In the comments, let me know which one turned out to be your favorite. And with all that being said, let's go ahead and get started with these tumblers. Okay, so for my first step, I'm going to apply my epoxy to my tumbler. I have about 4 milliliters of epoxy in this cup that I will be putting on the tumbler. So it's about 2 milliliters of part A and 2 milliliters of part E, equaling 4 milliliters of epoxy. My first color is going to be this beautiful purple. Of course, I want to add the purple first. So you can do this any way you like. Remember, this is your tumbler. So I'm just going to randomly place these colors places. You can make stripes around your tumbler. You can do the diagonal lines. You can do up and down. Whichever way you want to make this tumbler, place the glitter whichever direction you want to place it. Make sure you put that catch paper on there just so you can catch that excess glitter. And I'm just gonna place this just like so, and then I'm just gonna put random little streaks around the tumbler with the purple. So I really like this purple. This purple is holographic. I really like the holographic colors. So I'm just going to be placing that all around my tumbler until my heart is happy. And then once I'm finished with that, I'll pick up my purple, my catch paper, and then I'll add another catch paper and add the next color. I'm going to go in with this Holographic Silver, which is their platinum. So I'm just going to do the same thing. Let me make sure I get that glitter off of that catch paper, and then just place that silver anywhere I want on the tumbler. I really like these two colors together. I think it's gonna look really nice when I put that black spray paint on top of them. So I really hope this tumbler turns out beautiful. I mean, it already looks beautiful to me, so now I'm just gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna go in with black and white. I'm going to actually mix those two colors because I'm going to be putting a black base on this tumbler. So I want to kind of mix those colors because I want to add those colors to the tumbler, but I don't want to overdo it with black or overdo it with white because it might kind of clash. So I have this diamond white and then the black. It is so beautiful. I love the holographic black, and I'm going to mix them together. So if you're going to be doing this, remember the black is darker than the white. So I'm going to put more white than I am black because I don't want the black to overpower the white. All right, so I hope y'all can see this, but this is a little mix that I made. I just mixed two of the colors together, and I actually really, really like it. I think it's going to complement this cup really, really well. And now to put it on the tumbler. Oh yeah, that's really, really pretty. I really like that. And I'm just placing this in areas that are spray painted randomly. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not overthinking it. I'm just placing this wherever I want to place it. Wherever, whichever spots I see that hasn't been glittered yet. I'm going to do this until I run out of this glitter and then put it back in my tumbler. And then I'm going to hit it again with the purple. So since y'all know how to do this, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward just to make this video a little shorter, and then I'll return with the tumblers completely glittered. Now that the tumbler is completed, I still have to do the bottom. So the way that I like to do the bottom is I add all the colors together and then I kind of just smush the bottom on the tumbler. So I added the mix, I added the purple, and then now I'm going to add a little bit of silver. I'm going to take a popsicle stick, or you could just move your paper around and just mix them all together. You can add the bottom whichever way you like. This is just something that I've always done. I think it looks cute like this. And it kind of gives you an idea of how the tumbler would look if you would have just threw up all these colors on the tumbler. So I'm going to turn off my cup turner and then take it off the turner. And you can see a lot of the excess fell. And then I'm going to pat on the arm. You can see a lot of them, it fell there. Let me try to get this in the frame. And then I'm just going to smush it down, and you can pick the paper up with your hand and kind of press it down on the tumbler. And then you can feel that the glitter just gets picked up by it, just like so. So I just want to make sure it's completely covered. And you can see that it did, and it looks really, really cute. I like that. And this is the finished look of this tumbler. I actually just want to keep it like this. It's really, really pretty. I love me some purple. So I don't know if the camera's picking this up, but you could see the silver, and then you could see that mixed black and white color. I could see it. I'm hoping the camera can. You could see that's the silver, and then that's the mixed black and white. So I really like how this turned out. My initial thought was just to dump some glitter on the tumbler, which I did, but then I kind of went with kind of a spiral diagonal look, kind of like tiger marks on the tumbler. So if you want to go ahead and do it that way, or you could just want to throw it on like I initially planned to do whatever you like. It's your tumbler. It's going to look great either way. I'm now going to let this cup spin on the turner for 2 hours. After 2 hours, I will turn off the cup turner, and then I'll let it air dry or air cure for another 2 hours. So I want the total drying time of 4 hours. If you're still unsure if the epoxy is dry or cured underneath the glitter after 4 hours, my wait time, I always like to give a wait time of 5 hours after this process, just to make sure. So I'll see y'all back in about 5 hours. Hey guys, I'm back with my tumbler. It has been spinning and then air curing for at least 5 hours. So the glitter is completely dry. The epoxy is completely cured underneath the glitter. And now I'm going to add a coat of epoxy over the glitter. I am using a 30-ounce stainless steel tumbler, so I'm going to be using about 30 milliliters of epoxy. So that's 15 milliliters of part A, 15 milliliters of part B. If you want to use a little bit more, 35, go ahead. I just want to use this coat to seal it. I don't necessarily want to use a very, very thick coat because we're going to put another coat of epoxy over this. Mix my epoxy off screen, and now I want to add it to my tumbler. Before I add the epoxy to my tumbler, I was gifted some glow-in-the-dark epoxy additive from Craft Destiny, and I wanted to add it to my epoxy. So whenever I do that dish soap method, the peekaboo is going to be glow-in-the-dark as well. So I'm going to add some of this after I've mixed it. So this is completely mixed epoxy, and then I'm going to add some of this to the epoxy so I can get a nice glow. I'm just going to add this much, and I'm going to see how much that's going to be in this epoxy. I've never used glow-in-the-dark before, so this is going to be my first time using this. And inside the cup, I can see that I could see where it is. So it's not clear. You could see that it's yellow in there. So you could see how much you've placed in there. You could see if you need to add more. You can see I've only added a little bit, and I might add a little bit more only because I'm a little paranoid because I've never used this. I'm sure I've added too much already. So I'll add in the same amount popsicle stick tip just like that. I don't know if the camera's picking it up because it's yellow, but I'm gonna add that. And then I'm going to stir it, and then I'm going to add it onto my tumbler. I'm sure a good way to test if this is enough glow is to turn off your lights and to see if it glows. Because I can already see that it's glowing in the dark inside of the cup, so that's pretty cool. So I'm just going to add this around the tumbler, no special way, the same way that I usually do. Once I finish adding this epoxy on the tumbler, I'm going to allow my tumbler to spin on the cup turner for about 6 to 8 hours. After that, I'll let it air dry or air cure for another 10 to 12 hours. And then what I'll do is I'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. I want to make sure this has been completely dried or cured for at least 24 hours before I move on to the next step. It's just something I always like to do just to make sure it's completely cured. If you're in a hurry, I'm sure about 18-20 hours will be okay with you. But I always like to let each epoxy sit for 24 hours just so I know it's completely cured and it's not going to mess up, because I'd hate to mess up a tumbler and have to restart and do the entire thing. So I'm going to finish this up, and then I'll see y'all in about 24 hours. Hey guys, I'm back with my tumbler. My tumbler is completely cured. The epoxy on my tumbler is cured. You can see how it looks. I really, really like this look. I just want to keep it like this, but we're going to go ahead and move on to the next step. So from here, I'm going to take this tumbler outside. I'll have y'all follow me, and then I'm going to do the Dawn dish soap method. It's going to be the power wash for this tumbler. And I actually made another tumbler, so I'm going to be making 2 of them. So one's just going to be the liquid, and one's going to be the power wash soap. So here's my other tumbler. So this one's going to be the liquid. I'm going to put the liquid on, and then I'm going to do the power wash with this one. So both of these tumblers are made with Craft Destiny glitters. I will have all of the colors in my description below for the tumbler I made with this one, and then I'll have all the colors in my mix in the description below for this one as well. The spray paint I'm going to be using is going to be black. I think black's going to look really, really nice with these tumblers. You can use any color spray paint, make these tumblers your own. I just really want that glitter to peek through this tumbler, and I think it's going to look really, really good with the black. So I'm going to go outside and get set up, and then I'll see y'all out there. Hey guys, I'm back here with my 2 tumblers, and I have my Dawn soap here. I have the regular liquid, and then I have the power wash. And then the spray paint I'm going to be using is going to be ultra matte spray paint. I chose a matte spray paint since I'm going to be applying epoxy over this. I don't think you need a matte spray paint, but I'd rather have it matte so the epoxy doesn't fisheye over the gloss. And then I have my hose right here. You're going to want to have this next to you because the process is going to be the soap, and then you're going to add the spray paint, and then you're going to rinse it off with the water. So it's going to be soap, spray paint, water. Right, so I have my first tumbler here. Again, I'm going to be using the liquid soap, and I'm just going to put it left and right around the tumbler, just like so, kind of making those tiger streaks. And then I'm going to take my spray paint and I'm going to spray it. So I'm just going to spray all around the tumbler, and you can already see where it doesn't want to spray where the soap is. I'm just going to continue spraying this. I'm going to spray the bottom, and then I'm going to take my water, and then I'm going to rinse it off. So here's my end result. I didn't get any soap on the bottom, but you could see the glitter underneath the spray paint. It is still a little wet, so don't touch it like I did. So you could see the glitter underneath the spray paint. I didn't add enough spray paint on here because I didn't want the spray paint to dry, but I really like how this turned out. You could see how it looks like tiger stripes. You could still see that glitter underneath the tumbler there. So for my next tumbler, I'm going to add a little bit more spray paint just to make it completely black and not have the see-through. And then I'm going to be adding the power wash. Okay, now for the one that I'm really excited about. A couple things. Before you add the soap, make sure that you shake your spray paint prior to. And before you add your Dawn power wash, make sure you spray that just to make sure it does spray properly, especially if this is a new bottle like mine. So I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to add a couple sprays on here, and I want that overspray. I want those dots around the tumbler, and I'm going to hit the bottom this time. So you can see everywhere where the soap is going to be where the spray paint does not hit. And then I'm going to take my spray paint and then add that layer of spray paint on the tumbler. I'm just keeping that soap on that tumbler. I want to make sure that spray paint is completely covered so there's no peekaboo on where I put the spray paint. And make sure you get the bottom. And then once you have that spray paint on the tumbler, going to take your hose and then just spray your tumbler with the water. Just like so. Make sure you get the bottom. Hey guys, I'm back with my tumbler. It's been air drying on my turner. I let it sit for about 10 minutes and then I noticed that the spray paint was dried. So then I took a paper towel and I just blotted it to dry it. And I did the same with my other tumbler. I mixed my epoxy off camera, so that's going to be the next step. So if you want to add a decal to this, I would not add a decal on this spot, because if you add the decal and you add the transfer tape, whenever you peel up that transfer tape, it's going to peel up that spray paint. So if you want to add a decal to the bare spots, like these spots right here, you can go ahead and do that, because if you rip up this decal in the bare spot, it's going to land on that dry epoxy. But if you're going to be placing a decal anywhere on the spray paint, I would add that coat of epoxy and then decal and then add another coat of epoxy. So if you are adding a decal, I would only mix 30 milliliters of epoxy. So that's 15 milliliters part A and 15 milliliters of part B, total in 30 milliliters of epoxy. Then you'll add the decal and then you'll re-epoxy another 30 milliliters. If you aren't going to be adding a decal, or you already added a decal to the bare spots, I would add 40 milliliters of epoxy. So that's 20 part A and 20 part B. So let's just say this is my last step. Let's pretend I have a decal on here. So I'm going to be adding my 40 milliliters. I have mixed my epoxy off camera. Again, I will have some help videos in my description below. If you do need help mixing epoxy properly, just check that out. I'm just going to be applying this epoxy like I would any other tumbler. You don't have to worry about anything mixing because that spray paint is completely dried. You could see whenever I add that epoxy, that glitter really starts to pop, and you could see that peekaboo effect really starting to look really pretty. So it looked really dull before the epoxy, but the epoxy always makes it pop. So once I'm finished applying my epoxy, I'll let my cup turner spin on the turner, or spin for 6 to 8 hours. After about 6 to 8 hours, I will then turn off my cup turner, and then I'll let it air dry or air cure for another 10 hours or so. So before I add a decal, if you are going to be adding a decal, I always like to wait 24 hours, the total 24 hours, just so I make sure that epoxy is completely cured. I know some people like to wait 15 or 16 hours. If that's what you usually do, then stick with it. But I always like to wait 24 hours just to be safe than sorry, so I don't have to do another tumbler just in case I mess up on it. Once that is finished, I will then clean up the inside of my tumbler. If you want to see how I clean up the inside of my tumbler, go ahead and check out my description below. I will be posting a video on how to clean the inside of your tumbler and how I clean up my rim. So be sure to check that out. And then I wanted to show y'all the other tumbler that I did. I really like how I didn't spray a lot of spray paint on it at first. I didn't like it, but I like the little peekaboo. So I like what it's doing. I like the effect. So this actually came out really, really well. Again, I'll have all these colors posted separately in my description below. So if you are wanting to do a tumbler like any of these two, I'll go ahead and have all the colors listed. And I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more tumbler and craft videos. I'll see y'all next time.